It has been a very interesting last couple days here in Georgia. If you're a sports fan, particularly if you're a Braves fan, and really it's all throughout the Southeast. Braves country is not just here in Georgia. We got Reggie Chatman in the streaming center to break it all down with us. Hello, Reggie.
Hello there. Happy Sushi Wednesday, Zach. How are you?
Yeah, this is good. Usually I hype you up when we bring you in. That was a good reverse hyping. I appreciate it. For those who don't know, many fine establishments, mostly grocery stores here in Atlanta,
I didn't know this.
A $5 sushi deal on Wednesdays.
Didn't know it.
This is not sponsored. This is not a promotion. But you got to address the elephant in the room. No free ads here. That's right. Let's talk Braves baseball.
Let's do it.
Maybe they're having a little bit of Sushi Wednesday today as well.
I know.
Sometimes you got to eat your feelings, and there were a lot of big feelings following the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Reggie, you're deep in this stuff. I'm tangential. I'm not in it like you are, but it broke containment. I was seeing tweets and messages and posts from people who are guests on the Georgia Vote. They are politics people expressing some big feelings about the Braves' actions or inactions on trade deadline.
Yeah.
What's the state of play right now?
Well, I love that it feels like that to you because I was actually wondering how close did it get to you because it has been very chaotic.
Sports cross all lines.
Yeah.
Braves baseball crosses all lines.
I mean, Braves country is huge, and they are not happy, which is very clear to me because, I did like let me hop on Twitter and be like, hey, Braves country, like, how are we feeling today? And within, 6 minutes, there was 50 responses being I'm really upset, like, this, that, and the other. And the crux of it all is the fact that the Braves didn't trade for, a frontline starting pitcher, something that they knew they needed, at the beginning of the year. I remember going to spring training out there in Florida, and that was questions we were asking the general manager, Alex Anthopoulos. Like, is this something you kind of go after? There was guys that were hurt when people got hurt. You knew that it was a very thin kind of margin on how good this team could be based on the pitching. They've been pitching well despite the fact that they don't have another frontline guy outside of Chris Sale. So trade deadline is come and gone. People really upset. There was one guy that responded to my tweet. He was like, yo, hey, good morning, Reggie. And I was like, I responded. I was hey, good morning to you. And the first response to that was like, fire Alex Anthopoulos. So, people not really happy, Zach.
You get the spectrum here of reactions. Let me take the hype hat off here for a second, though. Anthopoulos is a pro. It's a professional organization. Fans are going to do what fans do, which is have big feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Is the organization seeing something that a lot of the fan base isn't?
I think what it is that they weren't able to lock it. It stinks as it's become a pattern. I think what people are really upset about is the fact that it seems like a pattern over the course of the last amount of years where they said they were going after a frontline starting guy and they just weren't able to land one. And this seems like another situation where they tried to get one and things just didn't work out. I mean, there were reports of them going after certain people that it just never worked out. At the end of the day, they did bring in a couple of different players, both at the plate and a couple of pitchers as well, a couple of minor league guys that have made some moves here over the last couple of days. But and I think at the end of the day, they are moves that will help. I mean, you go out there and get Tyler Mahle, who's a guy that can probably pitch at the back end of this rotation. Lane Thomas is a right-handed hitter that has been incredible hitting left-handed pitching. And then you also grab Brent Suter from the Angels, who has been super, super excited to be here, which we'll talk about in a second. But I think overall, the issue is that people are just frustrated over years and years and years of waiting for them to finally land a guy. And it feels like the issue this time, once again, was not being willing to give up some of the prospects. Anthopoulos talked about the other day. There was a couple years ago they wanted to go after a frontline guy, and it would have been trading Drake Baldwin, who, of course, has been an incredible player for the Braves this season. Even a couple years before that, people were trying to trade for Michael Harris II, who, of course, has been amazing for the Braves over the course of his career and was both those guys were Rookie of the Year. So that's where it all issues out. He really didn't want to give up those draft picks, or those prospects. But at the end of the day, this team has the talent, has been playing well, maybe overachieving for what people thought at this time, and they were hoping that maybe Alex would reward them with a starting caliber pitcher to be able to take this team to the next level.
Let me play devil's advocate for one more kind of iteration of this, because I can imagine some folks who may want to defend the decisions deadline day. They look at the standings, see that the Braves are leading their division by, I think, 7 or 8 games over the Phillies.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
What's the ceiling for this team as it is currently constructed?
Well, this is probably going to be the team that you're going to get rolling out there more or less. There's a couple of guys that maybe you get back. I think that You get Sean Murphy back yesterday to have his first game back. Ha-Seong Kim, who has been not good at all at the shortstop position. I think I'm probably underselling how poor he's played this season. His batting average is under 100. So he's not been good, but you get both those guys back, and there's the potential for a guy like A.J. Smith-Shawver to be able to come back as he's currently working his way through a rehab assignment. Maybe Spencer Swellenbach. This is kind of a miracle situation where Spencer Swellenbach maybe comes back and pulls off a miracle and is able to pitch again. There's so many questions around Spencer Strider. We're in the clubhouse yesterday, and his stuff isn't even in there anymore. So there's a good chance he's not coming back this season. So you wonder how far, and I've been joking about this, how far like the power of friendship can kind of get you, because you have what you know for sure in a starting caliber guy like Chris Sale, and you have to keep relying on guys that have been kind of overachieving. Bryce Elder has been overachieving over the course of most of the season. He's kind of come back down to earth. Grant Holmes has had good moments like yesterday where he went 6 scoreless, and I think that's why Alex Anthopoulos, when he comes to talk to people and can say, hey, we're still pitching well, our ERA is still low, and they're still figuring things out. The frustration is the fact that it feels like every time one of those guys comes out there, you really don't know. You know it, Chris Sale, and then everybody else is kind of a question mark.
What did Anthopoulos say? I'm sure he got the question.
Yeah.
What's his response to what's our banner say here at Braves fans? Disappointed. What's his response when he gets that question?
They asked him pretty pointedly, or was in the days leading up, somebody asked him, hey, are you guys going after a frontline starter? And then after it didn't happen, he basically was like, we didn't go into this trade deadline with looking for anything specific. We were just looking to get the team better. And we feel like, and this is Alex talking, we feel like we got this team better. And this whole idea is that if you add to a team, you got better. And he didn't really touch on the idea that maybe the elephant in the room, that they didn't get the starting caliber pitcher they wanted to. He did say they tried. At the end of the day, try. At the end of the day, he didn't bring in a guy in. So, but he does feel like, as the general manager, he feels like he did his job to bring in a couple of different guys. And I agree. Like, Lane Thomas is a good player they brought in. Tyler Mahle can be a guy that can eat some innings. Same thing with Suter, and a couple other minor league pieces. But you were looking for a star. A real help that you knew you could rely on, and those guys are all pieces that can kind of get shuffled in, and you didn't end up getting a guy that's like a dude to be a guy right behind Chris Sale in that starting rotation.
Let's save this, Alex Anthopoulos, if he's watching, save this clip and fast forward a couple months, and we'll see how this holds up.
He said a lot of that, actually.
Because
like, we'll see.
Yeah, and we will see, because, well, we'll see.
Yes.
One guy we know who is excited.
Yes.
Fired up to be here. Brent Suter. Mm-hmm. He's a reliever. We heard from him.
Yes.
And talking about being the dude, he is a dude who is excited to be here.
This was a really exciting thing yesterday because we roll inside of the clubhouse, of course, asking people questions of, what is the reaction? Matt Olson's like, hey, we trust Alex Anthopoulos to do the job. But he also pointed out, like, that we can't forget about the guys that they brought in here. We are really excited to have these guys, and nobody more excited to have these guys is one of those guys that came in here. I mean, we talked to Brent, and I'm going to let you guys hear from him here in a second, but it was so refreshing to be able to hear from a guy that was just excited to put on a Braves uniform, and, I mean, he had me fired up after talking to him. Here's a listen.
I mean, you talk about excited to be on a great team. What an organization. I actually lived in Lilburn, Georgia for years growing up, and I was a huge Braves fan in the 90s when they had, Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz. So this is a dream come true for me. I was a big Braves fan growing up, and just always been a fan of how the organization goes about it. And I've heard nothing but great things about how they deal with families. I got 3 boys of my own, so super excited to bring them down and let them experience, being part of a Braves family. But just very much respect for how they go about it on and off the field. I guess now it's how the Braves go about it, and just amazing respect level, I think, from the whole industry, honestly. All baseball respects the Braves big time, and can't wait to put this uni on and pitch in Truist Park. It's a dream come true for sure. Amazing. I mean, I've been respecting and watching these guys do their thing for years and years, and to be on the same team with them is an honor. And we got some guys banged up that are getting back, like Suarez and all that, but can't wait to see him shine again. But just crazy good room. People keep walking in. I keep it like, oh my gosh, you're on the team, dude. You're on the team. This is whatever. You forget how good and deep this team is, and it's just a special place. And just everyone's made me feel so welcome already. And I've been here like 2 hours, so it's amazing. About 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Did you go to Old Turner Field? Did you go to
Oh yeah. I went to Old Turner Field. Went to a World Series game in '95 when they, not the clinching one, but when that year they won it. I went to one of those games. I actually was going to go to Parkview High School where Matt Olson went. I played college ball with his brother. Funny enough, his older brother. So just a bunch of really cool connections with Matt and some other guys in this room. Played with Ken Lee, Devon, Dominic Smith, a bunch of other guys in this room before, and it's just an honor to play with them again and play with these new guys. I loved the Atlanta Braves. I can tell, I was a big time fan. When I moved to Cincy and I ended up adopting the Reds. I'll be honest, sorry, full confession. Ended up adopting the Reds, but in the '90s, you kidding me? This team was unbelievable. It was the middle there, 14 division run, and it was a special place to be a baseball fan, and with Hall of Famers all left and right, and can't wait to hopefully meet some of those guys. I know Chipper hangs around a little bit and some other guys, but I loved the Atlanta Braves, loved them, and I still do.
Oh man, how good is that?
That was the coolest moment of my day yesterday. Just because when we're surrounded by all the negativity, you forget that these guys are coming here to be able to help and come contribute to this team. And
a very good team.
We got a very good team that is leading the division, is one of the best teams in baseball, and has been playing really well recently. And for a guy like that who gets, he said he was actually on a golf course when he got the news that he was traded. He did finish the round, he told us. He said he didn't play super well because he was a little bit distracted.
He got it done, though. And
he got it done.
That's the job. You got to get it done.
Emotional, of course, to leave the West Coast and leave those guys, but he's really fired up, as you guys can see here. He used the word jacked up as soon as we asked him the first question. I'm jacked up to be here. And for him to be able to be here and get out of the Angels organization, which is, as we all know, is not very good, to be able to come to a team that is a perennial winner and is looking to try and win a World Series title, despite what everybody may think about this roster and the current setup, it was really, really refreshing to see in here.
And from an outsider's perspective, too, it's always cool when we get to hear from pros who are kind of bringing their genuine selves.
Yes.
And you're up close in it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like it is rarer and rarer to get those kinds of moments. There's so much media training. There's so much, and you can understand it from some perspective. There's such a spotlight on all these athletes. But just to see a guy be unbridled and unvarnished was really, it brought a smile to my face, too.
It's really cool. And I've heard this talked about a lot also. Alex does a good job of bringing in players that seem to understand the gravity of playing for the Braves. I think that we go back to the beginning of the season. We're out there in spring training talking to guys like Mauricio Dubon, who obviously didn't grow up in America, but grew up watching the Braves, was a fan of the Braves. You mentioned the same thing with Suter mentioning Chipper Jones or Andrew Jones. A lot of these guys grew up being Braves fans and being big fans of the team, and has maybe gone to a game. And we heard it in there. Suter went to a game during that World Series run in '95. It's this team, you always forget because we're here just how big Braves country is. And so the moments that we get, like personal moments like that, are oftentimes when them being like, I'm honored to be able to put on this jersey, what it means to this people, what it means to this city, because they grew up being a Braves fan. It's one of the coolest things we get to see.
Yeah, you talk about Braves country, too. Ted Turner played a role in that as well, not just for Turner, the stadium, but the Superstation. There were people suddenly all across the country watching Braves games on TV. And so whether you're in Lilburn, which is where Suter was for a little bit, or you were anywhere else in the country, you got to see the Braves, and you got to see a really good iteration of that team in the 90s. They're trying to do it again. We're going to see.
We will see. If that's one thing Alex said a lot, he said, people have made moves. Some people did this, some people did that. At the end of the day, we have to see these guys come out there and play, and he's hoping that the guys that he brought in make a major difference.
Baseball's a funny game.
Sure is.
Just look at the Red Sox for an example of
out of nowhere.
You never know what may happen. So we're rooting for a very interesting and exciting run for this iteration of the Braves. This is who we got.
The power of friendship, baby. I'm telling you, if you think about it, that 2021 team was just like that, where it was you had a couple of guys you thought maybe could pitch well, that it was just kind of chaos after that. If it worked once, it might work again. We'll see.
Well, on that note, I think we can all agree we're always rooting for the power of friendship.
Power of friendship, baby. That's how we get it done here.
Streaming Center.
Yes, sir.
My friend Reggie Chatman. We'll see you next time. We're going to take a very brief break. Another one of our friends just walked into the studio. Julia Martin is standing by. It's just all friends over here.